Hi guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this game I'm playing a free-for-all match on the map Blue Lakes. I'm starting in the bottom middle position, playing as the Soviets. So the map Blue Lakes has two big lakes, as the name would suggest it would have. And what I'm going to be doing at the first is I'm just going to be scouting a little bit in all directions. Now, in the chat, you can see Green has realised there's something a bit strange happening because he thought, he was hosting the game by the way, he thought the match was going to be on the All It Glitters, and he actually forgot to change the map, so he's actually on hosting a match on Blue Lakes, and yeah, it wasn't exactly what he envisioned, so he sort of like started and then was like, got a bit of a shock, I guess. Anyway, I like this map, so that's all good, because when I joined the game, I thought it was going to be this map, so nothing bad for me. Now, I'm just doing a bit of scouting. There will be teams, I think, in most positions, because I think there's about 6 in this game at least. And, yeah, you can see Red's got into my base, that's Nose. And at the start, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be building a single war factory first, getting an ore truck out and getting some tanks out quite quickly. Now you can see that's yellow to my bottom left, and what they haven't done is I haven't built infantry early on, so I've been able to get a good yeah, well, they've built infantry now, but I've seen a lot of the base. I also can see part of Orange's base, and that gives me a big advantage because I know like whether I can attack yellow or whether not to. So it seems that Yellow have gone for a double ore refinery before building the first war factory, which I think is a big mistake. I think you should always go for a war factory after you build your first ore refinery.
Construction complete.
The only times you can actually see double ore refineries sometimes happen on like small maps, like in quick matches. So I think the biggest example probably is Canyon. I have seen people go for like ore refinery before building a war factory, and that's when they're doing like a heavy infantry attack. Although in a free-for-all match, that would be never the case. I mean, you can use infantry attacks in free-for-all matches because I guess it like destroys the person close to you, and then you can you have more space, I guess, to expand and build. Now, what I know about this map is there is a lot of ore towards the top left, or like to the middle. It's sort of like middle top left, and that area of the map does have a lot of ore, and that's where you can see I'm expanding right now. And I've been a bit late actually. I've expanded and haven't built that second war factory, which I should have really done at this point in the game. So let's we're just having a look around at the moment. I don't think Yellow are going to be too much of a threat. I think that Yellow, though, most likely to attack. Well, I was going to say they're most likely to attack upwards, but they seem to be coming towards my base right now with one tank, which isn't really what I want at this stage of the game. So I'm just getting that established point in the middle, and you can see they've just they're doing a bit of scouting, I think, with that heavy tank. But what they know now is that I'm in the bottom middle, and I think because they know I'm there, they're more likely to attack me first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack them and get them out of the game, because I don't want them there to attack me later on when they build up a substantial force. And as we saw from the build order, it wasn't optimal, so they probably don't have many tanks out at this stage, and I think they've got 2 at the moment. They've obviously lost one of the tanks, they're doing that scouting, and we'll see how this goes. So we've taken out one tank, and we haven't received much damage there, and we're going to take out, what we'll take out is the ore refinery, so they can't build any more units. You can see they've actually got a service depot, and they've quit out of the game. So that puts us in a better position now, and I'm going to build a service depot, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to build an MCV and move it to that location. Because yeah, in free-for-all matches, it's always a good idea to build MCVs if you have chance. It just increases your building speed and allows you to yeah, just to expand more quickly, get multiple war factories, because on this game what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to get 3 war factories and expand my economy to be able to do that, so I can build tanks more quickly. But you can see green are there at the top of the map, and they're coming for the attack on me at the moment. And this isn't looking good for me at all. It looks like they've got more forces at the moment. You can see I've just built that MCV, which I've invested in. So what I'm going to have to do is possibly move that out of the way. Yeah, and this isn't looking good. I'm not going to be able to hold this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and move this MCV to the bottom left position. Because you can see I'm just, my forces, I've just got no forces at the moment. So it's not good at all at the moment. Yeah, and this is looking quite a bad situation. I've got 3 ore trucks there, so what I'll do is I'll move them also to the bottom position. And unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to move that MCV there in time, because you can see I've got like an ore refinery built. But yeah, I'm going to have to sell up because you can see they've totally destroyed my base there. Now the question is, are they going to follow me? Well, it looks like they're following me at the moment, but they're not going to have visibility on this part of the map. But I think they might have seen where my MCV has gone. But no, they're pulling back at the moment. And by the way, it is on destroy all, so even if they destroyed my base, I would still be sort of alive. But right, so I'm going to have to build up now. I do have the funds in order to do that, and we'll have to see why green has pulled back. I don't know whether they're just yeah, I'm going to bring that ore truck as well. I mean, there's always a risk that green see it, but they already probably know about where I am if I'm still alive. And you can see that red nose is fighting green at the moment, and you can see it's really close to that ore patch we were at before. So I think what's happened is green went to attack me, red expanded to that position and probably attacked his ore trucks. I mean, for green, he's started in a good position for ore, but I guess everyone tries to expand to that place because, I mean, everyone wants to get that ore in the middle of the map. So although it's like a decent place to be, I mean, you're going to get attacked quite a lot in that position. Because you can see that Cyan are also out of the game, so now it's only 4 teams left. There's green and red, which are fighting in the middle. There's also orange, which I've started in the middle right. We haven't actually seen anything from them. And then there's obviously me, who's now in the bottom left. So I mean, now it's just a recovery. I just try and build up as much as possible, get some heavy tanks out, and I mean, usually a free-for-all is probably the only time this would ever happen, where you could expand back from this situation.
Construction complete. Building.
But yeah, we can see there's been a lot of fighting in that position, but it seems to be a bit of a stalemate. You can see that red nose has lost his base in that position at the moment. And I'm going to be able to build up decently quickly here, because you can see I've got all those like ore trucks. So I'm not going to need to build any ore trucks from my war factories. I can just focus on building tanks. Now, there was a number of reasons why green had a great number of tanks for me at the start. I mean, my position wasn't ideal, but it still wasn't a bad position. I think I was very slow on getting that second war factory up. What I did is I was expanding my base upwards, and what I should have really done is I should have built that second war factory much earlier, because I was floating a bit of ore. So that was one of the mistakes I made. I also invested in an MCV, which wasn't a bad idea. One of the big mistakes I probably made, though, is I knew at the start of the game that the bottom left, the yellow team, were weak in that position. So what I should have done is I should have started expanding my base to the bottom left instead of going to the middle of the map, because you expand to the middle of the map, I mean, it's a free-for-all match. You are going to get attacked more in that position. So that was probably a bit of an oversight on my part. I should have really expanded to that bottom left, which is a safe position if I destroy that team, which I did at the start. And then that would have put me in a much better position later on. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm expanding upwards. And you might think, why am I doing that? Because I know that green's base is up there. But I have got a good number of tanks now. And you can see that green, they're in a fight with red. They're using all their resources to fight red. So it's not like they're going to have a big army that they're just going to be able to send. They're not going to see my base and think, oh, we're going to need to attack purple, because I've got quite a decent number of heavy tanks now. So if they go and attack me, they're sort of going to get absolutely slaughtered by red. But what we are going to do is we're going to do a little bit of scouting. So I'm just sending my tanks up. We're not going for the attack at the moment. We're just going to have a little look at what's going on in this part of the map. And you can see that green's base is right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my tanks down because I don't want to get involved at this minute. Now, what I would have done and what I did try and do is I looked for this recording. I think I found it, but the only thing is it wasn't loading anymore, so unfortunately I can't show you what was happening between red and green during this match. Otherwise I would have done that, because it does look like it was quite a fantastic battle between them at the moment. There's a lot going on. Now, this is when you know someone's in trouble, when you're taking their ore and they're just letting you. That means they're in big trouble at the moment. And what I'm doing is I'm building another ore refinery just to get closer to that ore patch, so my ore trucks don't have to distance mine as much.
Unit ready.
But you can see orange are there, so I don't want to get involved in red and green's fight, because you can just see orange have a big army. And they've just been like building from the start. It doesn't look like they're being attacked at all, so they're going to be possibly in a very strong position. They're a bit of a camper, it seems, which is what I'm doing at the moment, to be fair. Now, what I'm going to do in this game, because what happened is this went on for quite a bit. I was just stuck in my base, building my forces, and I didn't go on the attack, obviously. I did build actually an MCV and take it to the right. So what I'm going to do is I am going to wind the game on a little bit, just to a later point in the game, because it was pretty much a very similar situation. Except that I'd built up, and you can see me building that service depot right now. So this is later on in the game, and you can see I built that extra MCV. Well, I've taken that MCV and deployed it. So now I'm going to have an increased building speed. I'm going to be able to expand a bit faster, and I'm in that part of the map that I wanted to be earlier on. So I'm in a really good position.
Construction complete.
And I'm just going to build that war factory there. So I've got a third war factory now, and I'm just continuously building more and more tanks. And you can see I've got a great economy, and you can just see they're fighting out there with Tesla. And I mean, it's just been like that for a long time. Pretty good battle. But you can see, I think that what's happening now is we can see that green have got the Tesla advantage, and it looks like red are being pushed back. Yeah, they've got very few tanks, and yeah, I was wondering if they're going to push in to fight that Tesla there. You can see they've got that like flamethrower at the other side of the base, but it's not going to do too much against my ore trucks. And red are out of the game, so this is the time to attack green, because they've just fought that fight, and it's going to be no contest, let's face it, because green were in a hard fight. So yeah, that was just an unfortunate position for green to be in. They were sort of like caught in between us, and that's always the thing. What I'm looking for at the moment is I'm looking at what orange is doing, and it seems to be like they're unleashing from their base. So yeah, I sort of feel like, I mean, green did fight me early on, but that's the thing, they didn't finish me off. And when you don't finish a player off, that gives them a chance to get back in the game and hit you later on. So that was a bit of a revenge against green, and now we're going to be fighting orange. So orange have been in this game from the start, and they haven't been attacked at all. Well, it doesn't appear they've been attacked at all, unless you count that one tank from yellow as being an attack. And we're engaging with the forces now. Now you can see they've got a mix of heavy tanks and missile launchers, but missile launchers are very weak, and they do go down very quickly. And you can just see their forces are going to be wiped out, because I've got a good army at the moment. You can see the ore trucks doing a bit of distance mining at where my old base used to be. And you can see I've just expanded to that middle part of the map now, and I'm in a very strong position. Now, one mistake that orange have done is they didn't take the whole force to fight me. What they should have done is they should have taken the whole force to fight me at once, because that would have been better use of their forces. And you can see those missile launchers firing. So they've got a mix of tanks, heavy tanks up front, missile launchers behind, and rocket men behind them. And we'll have to see how this goes, but it looks good for me. It looks like the forces are going down, and then we can just squash the rocket men. Generally, I don't build rocket men, I just go for me heavy tanks there, because infantry can be squashed. Missile launchers have too low HP to be effective, and I think a mix of heavy tanks and base defences is really key here. So instead of building those missile launchers, I think it would have been much better building Tesla coils and flamethrowers at that entrance to the base. You can see they've also got defence for air with air defences, but it's going to be no good in this game. And you can see we're taking out the forces at the moment. They've got nothing to respond at the moment, and it looks like we're going to wipe them out quite easily. And this is a good game, because there's no way they can pull back from this. So just looking at the base, what I think the big mistake is, the base is too compact. What they need to do is expand out. They've also built some buildings like that information centre, the SAM sites. Now the SAM sites, yeah, they could be good if people build MiGs, but generally on a map like this, people aren't going to build up MiGs to attack other people's bases. So that's probably a bit of a waste there. And what they would have been good doing is expanding to the left. And when there's that passage into their base, what they could have done is they could have lined it with Tesla coils and flamethrowers, and then built ore refineries on the other side, so they could mine from that middle ore patch, and that would have put them in a much better position. And then they could have built like more war factories and really built up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wind it on, because it went on for a little while, because we were trying to find where the forces were. And that's the end of the game. So thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed the game.